Well, today's episode is going to be a little fun, interesting day. We're going to continue with more of Stardom's Triangle Derby with day 6. And they're still in Osaka, Japan for day 2 in certain ways. A 2-day event for the Triangle Derby in Osaka, Japan. And also, we got Major League Wrestling with MLW Fusion 163. We have some interesting matches taking place. Our main event features Jacob Fatu taking on, of course, Ben K from Dragon Gate. This is going to be a banger of a match. And of course, Impact Wrestling enters its fallout after Hard to Kill. So, what things could happen now that the Hard to Kill is over? We just gotta find out. And of course, we got some news updates regarding things going on with the WWE, what matches are being set. We have a Yoshi wrestlers injured; they're gonna be out for a while. The whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J. Right here. So, let's begin with Stardom. We are now in day 2 in Osaka, Japan, but also part of day 6 of the Triangle Derby, the first ever trios league that we're seeing. Now, our opening matches, our first two are non Triangle Derby matches. Our first one is a three-way match. We have Yuna Mizumori taking on Mirai and Koguma. Now, this was a very interesting match. Now, I have to say, Yuna Mizumori, she's the pineapple. We cannot deny that. Mirai, one of the strongest individuals on the planet. But Koguma, you know how she is. There's a reason why they call her the high speed genius. But of course, the bear always finds a way to win. And I think this is the first time you don't expect it when she ends up with Mizumori and ended up being in the Kuma role, ending that way. And of course, apparently, Koguma was about to take for a souvenir the pineapple head that belongs to Yuna Mizumori. So I thought it was so hilarious. Now our next match is a three-way tag match. We have Meltier, Natsupoi, Tam Nakano taking on Stars Saida and Azuki versus Godseye Amisuri and Sudi. I thought this match was pretty good. I thought it was like it showed a bit more of the tag team elements because since we're in the Trios League, but in this case, you saw some incredible strength from Amisuri. As you know, this will be just a warm up for before this coming Sunday when she faces Mai Sakurai and defends the Future of Stardom Championship for the second victory. And we'll get to that when that day comes. But it was a Tiger Suplex by Tam Nakano onto Saida that gave them the win. So it was a pretty good win. So basically, Melty are trying to get back on top, and hopefully this year they get to win the best tag team in Tokyo sports. Something that many fans have said that were robbed thanks to the Great Okan and Jeff Cobb. Now, our remaining matches are involved the Triangle Derby matches. Our first one we have Lollipop, of course, Yuko Sakurai, Rina Amikura, and Waka Tsukiyama. They take on Queen's Quest, Utami Hayashida, Azumi, and Saya Ida. I thought this match was pretty good. There was some good moments from Waka when she pulls off her match. But however, Waka ended up on the wrong side of the Star Crusher by Saya Kamitani. Yes, folks, Kamitani hasn't pulled off, of course, the move, the Phoenix Splash, due to what happened back in November with Mina. So she pulled off this amazing win right here. Our next match, we have a Rebel X Enemy consisting of Maika Ozaki, Ram Kaicho, and Mayo Hiki taking on United Glare consistent of Oruko Masaki from Diana, and of course, members of Odatai, Ruka, and Starlight Kid. I thought this match was pretty interesting because the entirety of the tournament, I have not seen Ram Kaicho try to pull off the ectoplasma, that white powder stuff that she uses to win. However, it did not work in her favor. Apparently, it backfired because she hit the referee. Referee disqualified her and gave the match to Starlight Kid. And of course, Ram Kaicho was not happy with this. She thought she was gonna get away. Basically, Ram Kaicho thought she was a lot smarter, but no, she wasn't. I mean, a win's a win. That's how it is in pro wrestling. Now, our next match, we have My Him with C, consisted of Himika, Micah, and Lady C, taking on Stars members HNM, consisting of Momokogo, Hanan, and Mayu Iwatani. This match was okay in certain ways, but keep in mind, I always did felt in this particular match with Momo and Hana being the weakest link group, since they're the youngest of the groups. You got three powerful people in the opposing team. You got Mike and Himika, who are right now the number one contenders to face 7 Up for the tag titles, but they've shown the supremacy. But in this case, it was Lady C who picked up the win by doing a chokeslam on Momokogo. But in the backstage comments that I did read, they're calling Lady C Lady D as an honorary member of DDM. I know that Lady C has no intentions of joining them because I just don't get that part, because Micah never wanted her to join DDM to begin with. But I don't know. We'll just wait and see. Our next match, we have Club Venus, Mariah May, who actually took the mic, introduced herself and the other members of Club Venus, Zaya Brookside, and Mina Shirakawa, who are currently undefeated. But however, that could change because they're facing a team that are well more experienced in pain. We're talking about Prominence, Kurumi Harige, Suzuki, and Risa Sarah. Now, you probably would guess somehow Mina would have done everything in her power to win, but not this time. It was Risa Sarah with the, what was it? Diving double knee drop onto Mariah May, giving them, this is a big loss for them. I don't know how that is because many fans are saying Club Venus could be the next potential team to win the entire tournament. All we got to do is wait and see right now. Now, our main event is Oedo Tai, consistent of Miu Watanabe, Natsuko Tora, and Saki Kashima, taking on the members of DDM, consistent of Body Body Bombers, Masakurai, Tekla, and Julia. Now, this has not been a good tournament so far for Body Body Bombers. They have 2 straight losses already, but can they afford to lose? I don't know, because right now, for my judgment here, for watching Oda Tai, they seem like they're doing pretty well. Not to mention, Momo is prepared for her upcoming match later on next month. But in this case, they were going to try to do some tricks. But in this case, it was Natsuko Tora with the Swanton Bomb that sealed the deal to have the win. However, right in the post-match, Suzuki showed up to gloat, knowing that right now, Julia and her team lost again, 3rd time in a row. So the real question is, what's happening here? Why is it they're losing constantly? Now, Zuzu is taking great pleasure to see Julia down on her luck, but will she win the match? I don't know. I mean, we could see another time limit draw when we get there to February 4th, but Julia believes with her being the red belt champion, that it would put DDM on the map, but so far it has happened just yet. I mean, right now her team lost certain matches, 3 matches in a row. However, we will see Himeka and Maika how they will do against 7-Up when they challenged them on the 4th of February, where of course Maika and Himeka are confident enough that they will claim those titles because they did beat them in a match last time in that very same venue. But we'll see what happens. But Suzuki, we know she's going to throw in a really good performance against Julia. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with MLW. Okay, MLW Fusion 163. It opened up with the women's featherweight taking the stage. We have Gia Scott versus Trish Adora. Now, I have seen Gia Scott on certain occasions, but Trish Adora, I've seen her on plenty of occasions on various promotions. I thought the match was pretty good and very solid. I know for a fact that this is a good way because we really want to see more of the women's division, or should I say the featherweight division, thrive in MLW. And you know for a fact that Taya Valkyrie is watching this match to see who could be a possible competitor for her title. So, but in this case, it was Trish Adora with the Lariat Tubnet that sealed the deal for her to pick up the win. So we'll be watching out for who will be the next person to challenge her. Now, our next match, we have TJ Crawford taking on a guy we have seen and talked about on either GCW or JCW. We're talking about Alec Price. I have to say it was a pretty good match, and I think he put on a good impression to the MLW fan base. And I think many fans were impressed. I mean, the guy, he really is talented for what he can do. I mean, he plays this arrogant guy at first where he's like, I don't care about you guys, but now it's like people do give a damn. And he picked up the win with the prize possession, that one kick that knocks out people. I thought it was sweet. I think he really did make a good impression on the, of course, with the MLW and, of course, the commentary. Now, Lisa Atute is back with, of course, some news going on called the MLW Insider. As you know, Cesar Duran is going to bring back the Azteca Lucha, but apparently he is no longer the matchmaker for MLW. So basically, they're going to work him, Cesar Duran, and Corbauer are going to try to work together as much as possible. So we'll see how that plays out. Now, Injin Duca and Hammerstone, it is going to happen. Last man standing. The obvious thing is when and where. That's the obvious question. Now, we still don't know, of course, with the what the recent attacks with the calling cards. If you guys remember clearly, someone has been leaving anonymous cards, and this led to Cesar Duran to run like a coward. But no one knows what's going on. So there's that mention, and then finally, MLW will have the first ever action figures. I don't know how that plays out, but it's going to be good. Now, before our main event, Hammerstone shows up, that heads to commentary. He wants to scout this match, and turns out that he and Ben K worked out together. So it's kind of interesting. But I have to say, the match was incredible between both Ben K and Jacob Fatu. I would have assumed that this would have gone a lot longer than expected, but I feel like Ben K put up a very good test to Jacob Fatu, knowing that he has the right to cash in his golden ticket. It's only a matter of time until that day happens. But Jacob Fatu was the one who picked up the win with the moonsault, and it's great. And of course, we know that he has his sights set on the MLW World Heavyweight Championship, but we will see what happens then, because we do know that AJ and Duca will face him soon enough. So I think that's pretty much it with MLW. I believe it's time for our final review, Impact Wrestling. Okay, Impact Wrestling, in their fallout after Hard to Kill, it started out with Mickie James during his promo, but Bully Ray, who's not in a good mood, knowing that he did not fulfill what he wanted, was trying to tell Mickie James to skedaddle. She refuses. And of course, they had words back and forth. But all of a sudden, Tasha Steelz was there. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure why she's there. Tasha Steelz feels that she should have been gone from the very get-go when she beat her. Now, if you remember, it was of course Chelsea Green that caused it. Tasha Steelz may have beaten her for the Impact Knockouts World Title, Women's World Title. However, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Mickie James does beat her this time to teach her a lesson. But in this case, it became clear that the Bully Ray wanted to hurt her, but Jordan Grace and Frankie Kazarian show up. But here comes the director of authority who's trying to deal with the situation. And then here comes someone who was the commissioner of WCW. No, we're not talking about the Four Horsemen, J.J. Dillon, or as Jericho back in the day called him JoJo Dillon. We have Ernest the Cat Miller. So basically, he decided what better way to put Frankie Kazarian with teaming with Jordan Grace and Mickie James taking on Bully Ray, Tasha Steelz, and Savannah Evans. But Bully Ray was intending to leave, but Santino Marella was threatening to fire him if he didn't do what he was told. And it did. It kind of went into that match. You can tell that Bully Ray was going to manhandle Mickie James to teach her a lesson that knowing she should have done what she was told. But it was, of course, Mickie James with a roll up on Tasha Steelz to pick up a very good win. So, however, that wasn't the end of it. Masha Slamovich, who is the #1 contender for the Impact Knockouts Women's World Title, is going to challenge her. And of course, she sent her little message where she says she's going to kill her. That we're going to see. Now, apparently, Santino Marella and Ernest discuss about a #1 contendership. He called it the Golden Six Shooter, where 6 former Impact World Champions will be involved in a match. So that's kind of interesting. And of course, Santino met with Dirty Dango and Steve Macklin, who was not happy that he's not involved in that 6-shooter. But he did state it. This is for former champions. Macklin's not one of them. But they set up a match later on between those two. Our next match, we have Deonna Purrazzo and Ashley DeBronze, who is not in a happy mood. Keep in mind, Deonna Purrazzo did not win the #1 contenders in at Hard to Kill, but she did put Ashley DeBronze in a gotch style pile driver. So basically, it ended her night right there. Now, at Hard to Kill, we saw the return of PCO. So our interviewer, Gia Miller, who was brave enough to find him, wanted to know what is going on in that mind of his, but you know how that goes out. Basically, he still has some unresolved issues with Eddie, so we'll see what happens then. Now, Trey Miguel, as you know, he has changed a new attitude. He shows a little bit of disrespectful to Ashley DeBronze, but the old Matt timer, Mike Jackson, shows up to teach him a lesson. So next week, we're going to see Mike Jackson and Trey Miguel for the X Division title. That's going to be one match everybody's going to enjoy. We're going to see the old man kick some ass. Now, our next match, we have Taylor Wilde versus Killer Kelly. I have to say, this was a pretty good match because we have seen the new attitude, the new gimmick of Taylor Wilde, like being this witch that she is. But we've seen this woman, Killer Kelly, who is drawn by, feeling what they're throwing at her. But I thought it was a good one until Killer Kelly put the killer clutch onto Taylor Wilde to pick up the win. I thought it was fantastic. Now, as you know, Sami Callihan has joined the design, but however, he's still going through the initiation process. He is named as one of the 6 competitors in this Golden Six Shooter. The design told him his first test is to win that, but there'll be consequences if he doesn't win. Now, Santino Marella kind of gave our current Impact Wrestling World Champion the heads up about the Golden Six Shooter. So Josh Alexander likes what he's hearing, so he can't wait to see it. But however, Giselle Shaw, as you know, wants to have another opportunity of the Knockouts tag team titles, but nobody in the locker room wants to team up with her. However, Santino said that he'll find her a partner, so who could it be? I don't know. That's going to be a long list. Now, our next match, we have Steve Macklin versus Dirty Dango. The match was okay, but it ended with Steve Macklin doing the KIA. But we do know that Macklin will do anything in his power to get what he wants, which is a shot of the Impact World title. And that specifically means Josh Alexander. Now, the major players, as you know, had an interview. They're not happy with the idea that they're going to face against the Bullet Club, Bay, and Austin. But however, Moose had a different reason, sees that the reason their luck has changed thanks to Joe Hendry, who took the digital media title away from them. But they said they will deal with him soon enough. Now, Tommy Dreamer and uh, Dave Lecra talked about the current situation with Bully Ray. So basically, things are not looking out well for him. We don't know how things are going to turn out. Will Tommy Dreamer not work with Bully Ray ever again? We don't know. But we'll see how that turns out. Now, our pit fight match between Kenny King and Mike Bailey, I have to say, it's a little more interesting because we've seen these type of matches take place, like when we see the Josh Barnett's Blood Sport, which is one of my favorite events to see every year during the WrestleMania week. It was pretty awesome, but it took the referee by decision to call off the match, knowing that it was over. Mike Bailey won. But how will Kenny King react to this? We don't know. We'll just wait and see. I have to say the show was pretty good. Certain stories I did like. We'll just see what happens next week until we get to the next pay-per-view, which is No Surrender. So let's move on with our last thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. For our WWE updates, let's talk about them. Fightful Select reports saying that WWE are confident enough to believe that Naomi Trinity Fatu will make her return back to WWE. Now, we know the last report we had that they were still in talks. No done deal has been made just yet at the time, but we'll believe that until we see it. Now, if they are confident, that's great. We know there were talks about her making her way back, so we'll see when that happens. Now, trouble again with Vince McMahon. We have, as you know, there was another accusation that was made from the wife of an ex-referee that took place back in the 1980s, accused Vince of raping her. However, they settled with a multi-million-dollar deal. Now, the sum of money that they talk about is still undisclosed, but I'm sure the only reason the settlement took place was maybe because Vince is trying to focus on what he wants, which is sell the company. So we'll see if that has any play with it. Finally, Devon Dudley, who worked with the WWE, has parted ways with them. He was working as a producer in NXT, so it's kind of interesting now that he's done, but we'll see where the future lies for him for his next chapter. Now, as you know, you may have heard that Hijo Del Vikingo finally has his work visa license to wrestle here in the States, but under the condition by AAA, they announced that they don't want him to be in and under the streaming services. Now it seems like that changed. JCW and Warrior Wrestling has announced they're going to allow to have that. I don't know if AAA has made any decision that is still unclear on that, but we'll move on from that. Now for our GCW updates, take a picture that takes place this coming Saturday. We're going to have Cole Radrick versus Alec Catch that. And then finally, for our Holy Smokes, on March 4th, we have Drew Parker returning, taking on the Duke of Hardcore, John Wayne Murdoch. Now, now for updates with the JCW J-Cup on the 11th of February, another match has been set for the opening rounds. We're going to have Lio Rush taking on Tony Deppen. That's going to be a good one to enjoy. Now, Beyond Wrestling has announced For the Wrestle Open show, Lio Rush will make his debut with them on the 26th of this month of January, so I'm looking forward to that. Freelance Wrestling has announced that their next match for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge takes place later next month in February. Kylie Rae will make her return and will be facing against Sandra Moon. So as you know, Kylie Rae is not officially signed with WWE. We know that they trying to might use her as a trial run, but there's been discussion that was concerned for me, knowing that they need wrestlers that can be reliable. We still don't know what's the nature of that, but hopefully one day we'll be finding out. Now, RevPro, as you know, are starting up with the Revolution Rumble that takes place on the 26th of March. Their second entrant they announced is Leon Slater. I thought it's going to be great, so we'll enjoy it. Deadlock Wrestling with their latest event on the 28th or 25th of February. You already know, Violence is Forever will be taking on Above the Best. Now, for our Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling, our current International Princess Champion, Miu Watanabe, will be defending her title later on in February, I believe, on the 18th, taking on the Kick Demon, Janai Kai. So this Janai Kai mentioned on commentary that she will be making her way to Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. Can't wait to see it. As you know, recently I mentioned this past weekend, LIJ appeared on the Pro Wrestling Noah autograph session. Apparently, Keno has accused him, saying that he's a criminal because he did not pay for the ticket. However, Shingo made a very good comment. Keno did stated that they were welcome to show up. I don't know if he ate those words alive, but it was kind of interesting to hear that from him. So, kind of cool. Now, our last news update I put in the last episode, I mentioned that Tanahashi renewed his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, it turns out he's not the only one. We also have Master Heater Yato, who will be also renewed. He just renewed his contract as well, so it's kind of interesting. Now, for our Gatoh Move, ChocoPro wrestler Sayuri, it was just told that she will be taking some time off due to a back injury she obtained. This is from her statement that she put out. To all my Choco Mints and Gatoh Move fans, I'm always grateful for your help. This this time, I decided to take a break for a while to concentrate on the treatment on my back condition. The return time is undecided, however, I will be sure to treat and return, so please wait with confidence. I want to continue wrestling for a long time, so this is a positive break. I also will continue to do what I can as a member of the ChocoPro Gatoh Move, such as big cartel work, and second, see you on YouTube at the venue from now on. Please continue to support Sayuri Dragon Ninja ChocoPro Gatoh Move. I'll always feel your love and I appreciate it. So Sayuri is going to be out for a while due to a back treatment she's going to be having, but she did state she will be helping out with the big cartel, their merchandise, and probably being involved as a second in the matches. So we'll see her on YouTube. So we'll see what happens then. Now she's not the only Yoshi wrestler that will be out. Apparently, in Stardom, Miyu Amasaki has been pulled from the next couple of shows. It turns out that she will be out for an injury. Right as we speak, we have the New Blood event taking place, but she was supposed to be teaming with Hina in the New Blood tag team tournament. However, Lady C was picked to replace her. She was supposed to be in a three-way tournament against Marika Kobashi and Ruka. So we'll see how that goes. Hope no time limit has been announced how long Miyu Amasaki will be out, but I'll keep apprised of that. I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys. Well, let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. As you know, as we speak, we have the latest New Blood 7, where we have several of the Stardom stars, the younger, less experienced wrestlers. I know some of you are going to be paying close attention to the Waka Tsukiyama versus Nana Nanae Takahashi match, but also we cannot forget we got the New Blood Tag Team Titles tournament taking place. I did mention certain changes. As I mentioned, Miyu Amasaki will be out. Lady C will be taking her place, teaming with Hina, and there'll be other matches taking place as well. Morika Kobashi makes her first time appearance in this promotion. And also, as we speak, we have the latest Wrestle Kingdom 17 in Yokohama. As you know, we got the main event, the five matches involving the members of LIJ and Kongo. I'm excited for this. I'm so excited for pro wrestling in general. And we cannot forget AEW Rampage and NXT Level Up. So we'll see how that plays out as we progress. But for now, I'll see you guys in the next DWC time, same DWC channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.